But I put this video in here to play because it is synonymous with the sounds from the sky.
All right, well, what I did is I got off track. I was talking about the horse, and then after that, okay, this is what I want you guys to understand about the sounds in the sky. Now listen to this.
True law. This is the true law of God. It's the only thing that gets you out of hell at this time. There are more than 500 images of this inside the bell, inside each bell, which is the law. The symbol of the bell also means that the God is calling you to obedience, to bear witness to the divine in the Buddhist scripture.
Now listen, I'm going to tell you guys ahead of time what he's getting ready to tell you. What he's going to say to you is that in the end time, the Buddha will come on the earth and be speaking to God's people, telling them to have a state of atonement, to come to a place of resurrection of your eventually dead state of existence. The resurrection of the dead means the resurrection of an African people that has been put to sleep to their knowledge of self. The black woman, more than anyone, does not understand that she is in a position to go straight to hell with this white man that she has made her God. She does not understand that, but she, more than anyone, has been targeted by him to go to hell with him, because that is his sole purpose, to destroy God. God's greatest creation is the melanated woman. And I'm not saying that to take anything away from anyone, because everyone on this planet is a melanated woman. It's just that some is more melanated than others. But my point is, the original melanated woman is the woman that I'm speaking of right now. The one that the European male has become so fascinated with, even though he hides that. His biggest desire, more than anything, is to control the black woman on this planet. That's the reason why he spends so much time to make her find her natural arrangements through the cosmic placement and arrangement of aggregates. Is not suited for her to be allowed to be suited in this world. As a matter of fact, he does that to every woman. Your real titties is not good enough. Buy my fake titties. Let's get rid of your natural uterus. I have a plastic one for you. No, your breast milk is not suited. We're going to use this Infamil or this Similac from a can. Everything I create is better than what God naturally created. That's how he rolls. So, of course, he attacks the goddess of this planet, brainwashes her as to where she doesn't even see completeness in herself coming through the original God man that was given to her. So if she ever returns to her original God man, she can never redeem her original state of being a goddess. See, that's what he did to himself too, when he made himself become a god, but he took the goddess status away from the woman in his own race. See, that's how that works. But he hid that from the rest of the world as being important. But if you go to Europe, you see they have a queen, even though they don't call her a goddess. They worship her as the goddess of earth. And no other race of people on the earth now has a queen. So the goddess on earth now becomes the white woman, even if he hides that from the world, but knows it in his own head. Now we have implemented our woman, though we keep it hid from her, as goddess of the planet. But we get the power from the black woman, who we refuse to really show. She is the goddess, but until she connects with her God man, she'll never be complete either. This is a game they play. So they play with their own woman by secretly placing her in the seat of the goddess of the planet, but not let her know that she has that power. So they just call her a queen. But then the black woman can never be nothing but a Christian. See how that works? The black woman's status of greatness on the earth makes her be a Beyonce or a mother. Everything about worshiping and perpetuating the ideologies of the white man. I don't care what no one says. That's all it's about. All these nails and this hair and all this old shit that is so much a part of our nationalism, and we are so poor. I mean, with all the shit I go through as a man, and I see it's deliberate that this white man has set up the circumstances of failure for me, and even eradicated my own black woman out of my equation as being a source of health. And everything else on the planet look at the black man as something that should be scorned. And even other black men, in their own ignorance, it's the the same way. I see these other black men that live on the planet with me, and they the same age as I am. Because I know. Because I remember when we was 20 with each other. And even though I haven't saw you for a long time, and I don't say shit to you, and you don't say nothing to me because that's the way we've been conditioned. As soon as I see you, and I know who you are, and I get ready to say something to you, but then you give me that cold shoulder like, I don't want to say anything to you, so I don't say nothing to you either. But see, I see how great your ass is. And I know it's because of how you think. See, you hate your own blackness, so your blackness doesn't work in your favor. And that's why you age and deteriorate like the person you want to mimic. Those hateful tendencies and all that foolish conceptualization that you've been taught has eradicated your true nature of self. So now the universe is sick of all this decadence on the earth. So now it's wake-up time. So what's going on is that she's communicating to us through light and sound. That's from a distance. But now remember, there's other senses that hasn't kicked in yet to us here, but other people has felt it. There's people who has been right in the midst of feeling these universal attention getters, like the water did Japan, and like the earthquakes have done to a whole lot of places. All right, that's what I mean by the senses. You got your feel, you got your taste, your see, your hear, all that. Right now, here where we at in Vancouver, Washington, we at see and hear. That's where we at. But once you see something and hear something, what you do at that moment, your reaction at that moment decides what happens to you as an outcome of that. See, there is perception, and then there's reaction. Right now, we're at perception. Pay attention. This is important.
This is down up on the record, they call it the lotus of the true law. This is the true law of God. It's the only thing that gets you out of hell at this time. There are more than 500 images of the Buddha. This is inside the bell. Inside each bell, the Buddha preaches the law. The symbol of the bell also means that the God is calling you to obedience, to bear witness to the divine law. To bear witness to God. That's what this bell means. The ringing of the bell is saying, hey, get down on your knees and pray. This is the last one. This is the big one. It's the only thing the gods want to hear at this time. Here we see the Buddha, a symbolism of the Buddha preaching this precious treasure, the proof of eternal life in the Buddhists from thousands of years ago in all worlds and every universe. Get up and bear witness at the end of the cycle, living and the dead. So bear witness to this teaching, this precious treasure, the law. The preaching of this law is the only thing that gets you out of hell. They see it as the fruit of meritorious action, just remembering, teaching, and explaining it to others so they can understand. They say that any place that you preach this should be worshipped as a shrine. They say the value of this is incomparable. There's nothing to compare with preaching this law at the end of the cycle. They say that this preaching is of incomparable measure. The mind cannot conceive how much this is worth. You can give $1 billion, trillion away to the poor, but be worth an inch of this law. This is the only way to get out. They say if you receive it, write it down, memorize it, teach it to others so they can understand it. It's incomparable. They call it the Diamond Sutra, the Thunderbolt, the Vajra, the manifestation of God. The Thunderbolt, the Diamond Sutra. It comes to the chosen people of God at the end of the cycle. The Buddha gives this to the niggas to hold until such a time that the world is ready for it. The niggas give this religious teaching to Nicotuna, and Nicotuna turns it over to the black people of America, the Negro. What does that mean? That means that the black people of America are the ones chosen by God to provide to the world the proof of the resurrection of the dead. But I don't want to confuse the Negro because his brain might lock on this one. But the resurrection of the dead is also the execution of judgment. Only the Christ can execute judgment on his return. Now let the Negro follow me one more time. He has been chosen by God to show to the world the resurrection of the dead. Now Jesus Christ, let's look at the meaning here. The word Jesus means Savior. The word Christ means anointed. So Jesus Christ just means anointed Savior. It's a title for the Messiah.
It's a title you don't have to be white.
People on the cross. This is the depiction of the Africans of Asia, showing the crucifixion.
I want to point something out to you guys. When this arrow right here got placed where it got placed, it went there for the specific purpose of showing you that this guy is hung. If you can see, that's a cross right there. You see the cross? Now they put this in stone. You can see the cross. You can see that there's a black man on that cross. You can see another cross back here. And it's plain to see that there's a black woman right there that got hung too. Trust me, we all know that. So now, look at the faces. You see they tried to scratch the faces out. Since it was in Asia, and this one right here has a real Asian looking face, they figured they need that one in there because people won't be smart enough to figure out that Asian people are black people too, even though they didn't lighten themselves up now, instructed by the white man, just like everybody else. Get rid of that melanin to be accepted by him. The black woman got rid of her melanin so much she even pushed the black man out of the picture. Unless he's a black man that's want to be down with the Jesus stuff. That's the only way you can have a black woman these days. But anyway, my point being that you can see they pointed to his phallus being removed. Remember I pointed out that the removal of the phallus was synonymous with the SARS phallus being missing. The whole Nile Valley civilization story around his white cassette recovering all the body pieces of his butt, his phallus. What that means is that the black woman restored everything about her man itself, his reproduction. Which means that the Egyptians wrote a story of her rejecting her own man's phallus. Okay, they wrote that story. Because the fact that she put everything back together for him but his phallus means she took care of everything itself of his reproduction organs. Which means she was reproducing for someone else. The reason why we got so many Mexicans running around here that hate their own black. Do you understand how wise the Egyptians were to put that story in there? A Set had a husband named Asar who was murdered by his jealous brother Set. And his jealous brother cut his body up, dismembered his body. Cast his body all around the land, and his wife went around with the help of Anpu. Smelled all the parts out, but she couldn't find his phallus, because his phallus had got eaten by a catfish or something in the Nile River. So she completely put everything together for Asar, but his phallus. So his phallus to this day has not, it hasn't been found, but you know where it is? It's in the Vatican, right at Peter's Square. That's where Asar's phallus is at. So it shows you that Asar's phallus will be stolen by the European man. And here it goes right here. He's on the wall with his phallus removed. Because just like predicted, they stole his phallus. Put his woman on the cross with him, though intact. Her brain is messed up. That's what Asar's resurrection is all about. That's why I had to come back to this earth. And that's why I'm here. So don't misunderstand. We have to part